Welcome everybody to Dick's Sporting Goods Park ahead of today's early matchup between LA Galaxy San Diego and Tophat. The teams are walking out onto the field and going to have the national anthem in just a second. But we welcome you in. I'm Jordan Angeli alongside Mark Serber. And Mark, this has been a great start to the tournament so far, or the championship. And these two teams, Tophat 4 nationally and LA Galaxy San Diego 6 nationally. We are going to have quite the match on our hands. We're going to pause and welcome the teams onto the field.
Yeah, we're going to have the playing of our national anthem in a second, but it's so cold out here, 33 degrees. I think they're just having trouble pressing the right buttons, and I don't blame them because I've been having that problem too. And I think we're actually going to dispatch with the playing of our national anthem.
We were having troubles even writing, so we can't blame them. Honestly, their phone might be too cold to play the national anthem, so we'll pretend that happened. Everybody was standing ready, waiting for that. But now the teams get ready to start this one. And, Mark, both these teams already have played 2 games this weekend in this spring showcase, and they've had every single different type of weather, right? It's been sunny on Saturday. Friday and Saturday they were sunny. Yesterday was windy, and now it is cold with about 50% of rain here, chance of rain here in the next few minutes.
And on top of that, these teams getting to face different styles that they normally wouldn't see in regional play in their regular season schedule. And they also have to deal with the altitude. Now you have tired legs and the altitude, and a lot of it isn't going to come down to just who makes the right decisions, but also how do you manage the game when you're on tired legs, when you're playing in this thin air? How do you know not necessarily just run through brick walls the way you want to for your team, but when is it the right time to make that run forward, and when do you need to sit back and conserve energy? So it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out today. But at the U15 level, this is where they're really beginning to learn that. They focus so much on the technique, and rightly so, but this is where the mental part of the game really becomes a big thing at this age group.
And both coaches mentioned that to us when we talked with them either earlier today or over the weekend. And for LA Galaxy San Diego, they're led by Michael Dugan, and he was saying it's been an interesting weekend for them, right? They didn't start off the best. Had to adapt to the length of the grass, the altitude, the weather, and then they came out and got a performance and got a result the next game.
Yeah, he said, in the first game they were way too slow, running on some tired legs, and just weren't ready for it. He said the second game they made the adjustments much quicker, building out of the back, much faster, did really good job to get the ball out of their feet with their first touch so that they could play quicker. And so we'll look to see what adjustments they'll make. I think the coolest thing that he said is, some people complaining about the fact that the grass is a little long or about the weather. He said, I think the most important thing is for kids to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. He said, I love the challenges that this is presenting. And he said he's really happy that it's here, and he's really excited to get to play a Tophat team that we know is going to present some challenges. They are so fast up top and get the ball to their forwards very quickly.
Yeah, maybe 2 juxtaposing styles of play between LAGSD and Tophat. Tophat is coached by Ted Colburn, and this is a team with speed, with the ability to score and score often. They're probably going to try to go direct pretty quickly, see if they can get in behind LAGSD.
Usually I don't like to run, but this is the first time I am jealous that I am standing still and other people are getting to run. But I'm really excited for this game because these are 2 teams that are really good. One thing Michael Dugan told us as well is we are a measured team. We love to play through the thirds, but we also need to do a better job of recognizing when we can play direct and get in behind the back line that way. He said we did it twice against NYCFC, and we were able to get the 2-1 victory.
Estefania Estrada is in the middle. Our center official in Tophat gets the game underway. And their back 4 have done such a good job this whole season denying goals. Only 16 goals against for this squad in their play in the DA this year. And you talk about challenge in the build up to this and how this new development academy for the women has just added a level of competition that helps these young athletes grow and grow at a substantial rate, right? More trainings, 4 times a week, less games, but the games are important, like this one, right? You're playing some of the best teams in the nation. It makes you show up to every game having to play with a little bit more sharpness.
Well, the other thing as well is that this showcases the best prelude you can possibly have to the playoffs coming up in Oceanside at the end of June, because it's the same exact kind of atmosphere and setting, and you're facing the teams that you know you're gonna have to beat if you want to become the national champion.
That's a great point there, Mark. Galaxy San Diego go down right away and earn a free kick here within the distance of the 18, so they're in a good spot here. Numbers in the box. Tophat set their wall up, making sure there's no quick start, but the ball had rolled away, so it wasn't like they were going to get off too quickly. Good targets in the box, some size with Knudsen and Rzuski there.
Lone Star scored from this exact position yesterday.
Ball in
wow.
And flicked at the near post. What a nice little touch. And within the first 2 minutes of this match, LA Galaxy San Diego put their mark on it. You mentioned this is a dangerous spot here.
Well, it's just a great ball whipped in. Keeper has to stay on her line, and rising highest to get to it first is LA Galaxy San Diego. Not exactly sure who got the final touch within a mass of bodies, but just a perfect ball, great trajectory, and it was a tremendous job by O'Grady to really attack that header for her 11th goal of the season.
You surprised with that?
Not at all, because
right?
she's a player that Michael Dugan said lives for the big occasion.
Yep.
She doesn't hide. She loves this, and she's always right in the thick of it, and she certainly was there.
O'Grady getting a goal in the 2nd minute here, her 11th of this calendar year. Stepping up in big occasions is O'Grady. What a nice little flick. Could tell that was something she knew could have been on, maybe something straight off the training ground, right? As Galaxy San Diego get the ball back under control, and this is what they're gonna wanna do. They're gonna want to play out in between the lines. Here's a good look at Cole. Sizes up her defender. Just cleared away by Tophat.
And that was a good run in from Ellie Davidson, or from Yates rather, but it just needs to be a little bit quicker. Cole played the right ball. You just need to make that run 1 or 2 seconds earlier. But that's something you begin to get the rhythm of the game. You'll start to make those runs at the right moments.
And the wind not too much of a factor yet, but as this potential storm comes in, we'll see how this affects the game, because a team like Tophat, who maybe wants to play a little bit more direct, it might have an effect on the way that they play, or even the way Galaxy is running off the ball here. Another chance on goal. Good save there by Solomon at the near post.
You know, for most people, they'll say that looked like a really easy save, but it's because she did all the work beforehand to be in the right position that save looks easy.
Good work by Solomon to work with her defenders, and her defenders shielded right into that direction too here.
The defenders did a great job not to allow that shot to the far post, so it's only goal near.
De La Peruta dribbling all the way back. She is your typical number 9, right? She wants to get the ball as high up on the field as she can.
There's great hold-up play from her as well. She gets the ball, she shields off, waits for more players to get in. We'll lay it off and we'll turn and look to get back further up the field. But I mean, the Galaxy San Diego has just come out at a really high pace and tempo and have really put Tophat onto the back foot.
We were talking about this before the game, Marcus. When we were watching the warm-ups, it looked like Galaxy San Diego were ready to play. It looked like they had a little bit more zip in their step. They had an off day yesterday. Tophat played a game yesterday, and a big-time game as they beat Real Colorado 1-0 in scoring in the first minute. So Good through ball over the top. Della Peruta cuts it back onto her right foot, goes to the far post, doesn't get enough bend on it, but good aggressive play there for Tophat trying to get back on the score sheet.
And once we see that directness from Tophat to get that ball forward for Della Peruta and try and catch that back line unawares, and that's a great little cut right there to set herself up. Knew exactly what she wanted to do. It was a great step up from Rzuski, though, to really force her to have to get the technique absolutely right.
But just going back to that big win, sometimes big wins can energize you and sometimes they can take a lot out of you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, especially the fact that you break the defense in the first minute. The best defense in the Development Academy, Real Colorado, had only given up 13 goals and handing them their first loss. But that means for the next 79 minutes, you have to keep that lead.
A lot of defending.
A lot of defending, especially against the team who's used to this altitude.
Right, exactly. That's a great point. Good dribbling by Houston. Excuse me, that was Stouty here on the near side. She's going to restart this after getting fouled. Kira Stouty plays it all the way across. A lot of space for Tophat.
It's really smart, though. I love the outlet ball to open up space and begin to attack in another area. Thing I always try and tell my kids when I coach is that you can play and connect those passes in a tight space. Once it gets too tight, find the outlet ball and begin to go again.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Stouty did there. She's a 2005 playing up a year, and she learned from her sister Talia, who's also plays for Tophat and is in the youth national team setup.
You see that a lot, right? Sisters at this level challenging each other, those younger sisters having that grit to even sometimes, like Stouty there, play up as the ball goes into the box. Tried to flick it, but couldn't get it going in the right direction. Deflected back in, and that's going to be an easy one. And the first time we really see Tavares here in her orange kit, looking a little bit like a Houston Dash player back there, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Allowed to use her hands, though, unlike the Houston Dash players that
right.
do wear the orange, and really good distribution out of the back, almost right onto the feet of Cole.
Yeah, great ball there, just over the top of Cole. Now a good opportunity for LA Galaxy San Diego to press here. They've got Smith in the corner, and she just sends it out. Lets her team reorganize.
Apologies. One of the things that Michael Dugan said to us is it'll be really interesting to see how his side handle the emotions of such a big game. The interesting thing about that is, well, now you have to think about how does Tophat handle their emotions coming off such a big win and giving Real Colorado their first loss of the season. And this is exactly the kind of setup that the Development Academy wants to provide so that teams learn how to deal with these types of situations.
There's growth all over, right? It's talking to a lot of the coaches this weekend, it's less about the results and more about what the reactions are to those different scenarios and how you play when you're down a goal and how you play when you're up a goal, and with the elements, with the wind and with the potential rain, all those things. It's just learning moments and things that all these players can get better at here at a young level, because it's only going to help you get to the next level, either a national team or into college one day.
I think one of the coolest things I heard about the DA came from a parent. He said, you know, if my daughter plays in college, cool. If she plays for the national team, great. But the thing I really love about the DA is that it's teaching her how to grow and giving her a lot of confidence. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. As this is a really good break right here for Tophat.
Good ball onto the other side. Ujambo looks for a cross, but it's cleared away. Baraszewski, she finds her outside forward there. You just can't connect. But that's the kind of quick transition that we're likely to see from Tophat. Good possession and patience from Zimmerman. Good patient defending too. This takes a lot as a unit to stay compact, not give away too much space in behind for Tophat. Della Peruta loses it. O'Grady's battling. Doesn't win it this time. But San Diego swarming the ball, winning it back. Nice turn by Cole.
And that's exactly what they talked about. LA Galaxy San Diego love to be a pressing team, but here in the altitude, in a third game in 4 days, they really talked about, okay, when do we sit back and maintain our shape, and when do we press? And they did a great job of sitting back, and they didn't win the ball all the way up the field, but because they were compact, they were able to win it in the midfield off of a loose pass.
Ball into the box, or the top of the box, cut out by Tophat. Good possession play from them. A little up, back, and through. The through doesn't make it. They regain possession. Thomas looking straight ahead to Della Peruta. Holds the ball up. She's so good at that, using her body to get in to a dangerous place, hold off the defender, but needs someone there to connect with.
Yeah, and not only is she good at connecting, but we've already seen her ability to turn and create shots for herself as well. Has 27 goals in 23 games coming into this one, but you were absolutely right there. There was no space to turn, and she really does need somebody to lay that off to.
O'Grady wins it back. She's got Cole. She'll play her. Here's Cole into a wide open space. Just no Galaxy San Diego players there. I have a feeling we're going to see that combination between O'Grady and Cole a few times.
Absolutely.
This
they
morning.
seem to want to build down this right-hand side a lot. I'm just talking about Della Peruta and her ability to turn. Well, you're not going to have that ability to turn if you don't have more players coming over and creating that space. So when the player comes over, then instead of having the double team on you, you have that one-on-one you can work. And good hold-up play from her.
Yeah, good little pass. The shot is blocked. It's a nice oncoming run from Shores. And we're trying to get you all of the Tophat players, but they're wearing yellow kits with white numbers. So yeah. Everybody at home, thank you for watching. We're trying to get the names right, but we're still working on it. Some of the players are hard to see on the middle and the far side of the pitch. Here's Shores. Sent into the box, Della Peruta. It's a good target player. She gets it again.
Rzuski's been very solid early on in the center of defense for LAGSD.
She probably knew she was up to have to be up to a task here with the strength of Della Peruta. But so far, you're right. Absolutely. She's been ready.
Knudsen's done a very good job as well. Knudsen won't mind the physical play. She lived in France for over a year and played on a boys team when she was there.
That'd be such a fun experience, not only to live somewhere different, but the culture of soccer is just so different in France. And we'll get a big taste of that this summer at the World Cup.
Oh, absolutely.
Can't wait for that. The countdown is on. Here's Tophat. But once again, Rzuski does enough to just nick it away.
It's a good ball back from Zimmerman as well to relieve the pressure through her keeper.
Shores with a run through from the midfield. It doesn't quite connect with her. But you can see how Tophat's really trying to stretch the back line. They get it again. Houston on the far side. Connects in centrally, and then the dribble gets lost. But look at that. There's 4 players from LA Galaxy San Diego hounding around the ball, just ready to pick up the scraps. Good run by Cole. the game has lost a little bit of its rhythm that we saw earlier on in the match. But these are the moments, right? Who's going to take charge and take control? Della Peruta connects back. Shores. Just not enough on that to find her teammates in the middle of the box. So we're 15 minutes into this one, a little over. What are you seeing so far, Mark? What do you feel like? Because this game now is getting a little stretched already early on.
Yeah, I think Galaxy San Diego is doing a really good job of being compact and holding their lines and making professional fouls when they lose the ball. But I think for Tophat, I love the fact that they're trying to be direct and go over the top, but their lines need to be a little closer. At times I'm seeing gaps between the forwards that are trying to stretch it 20 yards and their midfield line, and if they lose the ball in there, it's an early opportunity for a break for LA Galaxy San Diego.
Wilson with some good moves. Here's Shores. Nearly got that one on frame. Just as you were talking about playing in between the lines there and connecting the two lines, Wilson pops in and tries to make that happen. Carly Wilson. Well, look at this pass in, and
it's just a beautifully weighted ball and a good job to get away from the defender. A little bit to the outside of her, hard to turn, but you got to try and get that at least toward the far post, back across the face of the keeper. Still an excellent opportunity, and did well to hold off the center backs too as she made the run through. Getting back to Tophat, and what I'm saying is you obviously want to have the players stretch, but you need one or two players to come inside and close down the spacing in those lines in case you lose the ball, and that's where Galaxy San Diego has been able to attack them.
Good passing down the right side by Razuski Call and Dilhan. Casey Dilhan has 4 goals on the season. It's an outside back that isn't afraid to get forward here as she tries to pressure, keep Tophat in the corner.
Well, that's a great job to step in and create that pressure and not allow him out of the back, just like you said.
Shores tried to make something of that, but that's a hard play to make. Looking for some support in behind her, I'm sure. And now Tophat has some defending to do deep in their own half. Zimmerman wins it. Finds Shores. Good work by Shores. Nice little slip ball. Chiazzo Jumbo. And just a heavy touch.
Such a great run, though, from Majumbo. You know, when I was this age, nobody ever taught me those kind of runs, and just incredible intelligence to recognize that diagonal run and know that that's where the space was on the break. She starts on the other side, cuts in to get that, and then right here, touch just lets her down, but still a wonderful job to put herself in that position. So many players would just continue streaking down the far side asking for the ball.
Shot on frame, right into the arms of Tavares. You're still right, that run by Jumbo. But not only that, but the connection of Shores in there as well, and Della Peruta, they know where the other player is going to be, and you could sense that there is some system to that play. And within the last few minutes, when Tophat is having good attacks, it's coming a lot through Shores. She's the one there as she tries to defend that ball and dives in. She's the one that has been the anchor of that.
You talk about them knowing where they're going to be and where they're supposed to make the runs. The through ball for Shores on her opportunity was a no-look pass. The player knew exactly where she was, didn't need to look up, just put her head down and played that ball. And that's that kind of telepathic understanding you want to have between teammates, and they've certainly done that here at Tophat. Anytime you can disguise your pass, it's going to make things really hard. That's one thing the Japanese youth national teams are so good at, is they set you up for one pass and then play another. And that's something that you're starting to see more and more creep into the development game on the girls' side.
And it's just it's not only playing in these important games, but it's the access to watching all these other teams play, right? And that they get to watch Japan play on different levels, and maybe even some of them play in these national team arenas where they get to play against those players and just get a taste of what football is like in different areas of the world. Yates.
One thing U.S. Soccer does really well is for the Winter Showcase, they put it in conjunction with the Nike International Friendlies. So these players not only get to play those 3 matches, but get to see up close and personal what it really takes.
Good turn by Cole. Thought Cole was going to give us something to watch there. Good. Yates chops it back inside. A big tackle by Wilson on the far side. Tophat looking to regain possession.
Good interception from Knudsen there.
San Diego's LA Galaxy San Diego will settle it down again. Connect through Saunders. And now Rzuski. Some good movement, switching of lines by the attackers here for Galaxy San Diego. Pritch connects. Haven't seen much of her, but the players around her are getting the ball a lot, so that must mean she's doing something right, occupying center backs up there at that 9 position. Rzuski looking for Pritch. Here she is on the ball, faces up. Wants to go one-on-one, and just some good strength by Stouty.
Yeah, and that ball was played to Pritch, and I actually thought what she did a great job there was coming out wide to pull the defender for somebody to come into her gap in the middle where I thought the ball could be played, but did a really good job handling it, and they get the throw-in.
Dahan gets her pass picked, looking straight up for Ojumbo. Oh, good ball through. Della Peruta on her right foot, outside of the foot, into the arms of Tavares. Ooh, maybe another touch and chop it back, right?
And either that or hit that one first time before the goalie gets set. I know it's not the best angle, but any touch is going to take you a bit more wide of goal. And so if you hit that first time, that's your best opportunity. However, you're absolutely right. The right idea would be to chop back, but a great job once again by Rzuski to keep her from getting the opportunity to cut inside.
Big win there in the midfield by Lopez. She heads it back down the field. Pritch finds Yates there, and that's just good hard work, hustle, pressure defensively by LA Galaxy San Diego. They win the ball back on the far side, attacking down that left wing. Saunders connects. And Paolini over there, who hasn't gotten much of the ball yet, but can be threatening. This is what LA Galaxy San Diego is comfortable with, right? Just possessing, moving the ball from side to side, trying to open up some gaps, but they also pride themselves on the way that they defend and pressuring to win the ball back in higher situations.
And doing a good job to close the midfield, and you see it there with that interception.
Look how stretched the field is right now. It's probably 60 yards between the back line of San Diego, LA Galaxy San Diego, and their front runner.
And that's often designed so you can create those runners checking into those spaces to get that ball.
Using Tavares, as a 11th player. She's good with her feet, as we saw there, connecting through the midfield. And now Rzuski always looking for that through ball into the middle. See if she can pick someone out. The goal scorer O'Grady loses it, but her hustle and fight, determination has been top-notch so far this game. She wins it right back again. Thomas pressuring there. Can't get anything on it. Now back down the other way.
Smart decision.
Just settle it down. Connect to pass. Nice run. Davidson on the far side. Sizes up Houston, and Houston just sends it out of bounds. Maybe a good smart decision for her. Let her team get back and organized.
And it's really good to see Davidson out there. Missed the first 2 games through illness. So glad that she gets a chance to play in this showcase. She was coached by Shannon McMillan for 3 years. So
not too bad.
Many better players that you can learn from.
Especially with that midfield attacking mindset, right?
Absolutely.
Even as a winger, you can learn a lot of things from Shannon McMillan. And one of the great things I think about youth soccer on the girls side is just all these great role models that have gone through the system, that have played in these games and at an international level, whether it's the youth side or in a full-on Women's World Cup, that they're coming back and providing insight and knowledge to these players. You can see it, the game is just going to continue to get better and better.
And the wind is just continuing to get faster and faster.
We saw the paperwork in front of us from the academy. People there just flying all over the place.
Yeah, I think that's the PA.
Do they need our tape? Do they need
flying.
the tape?
Yeah.
We've got tape up here if they need it. You can hear the wind there. It's kind of billowing around right now. The flags in front of us look like it's going from east to west across the field, from the far side to the near side across the screen there. So we'll see how much that affects the game. Great step in there, strong by Zimmerman.
Oh, great ball over the top, but the flag's going to go up. However, just the awareness of the center back to see that ball and to play it. Ojamba just left the starting gates a bit too soon. She's really good at hanging off the back shoulder of the last defender and making those runs. She times that one right, and she's in with an opportunity to equalize things for Tophat.
I'm talking about learning moments. That's learning moment there, right? She's fast. She has the ability to get on the end of most balls. She doesn't have to cheat, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And
she doesn't need to play that line so tight. And it's great when you're playing against other teams like this. You get a, instead of the teams in your division, right? Because you start to get used to how those teams play and what their defenders are like. And you don't know. You come into these games and you know a little bit about the other teams, but you haven't scouted them in the sense that you're playing against them month in and month out.
And one of the things the coaches, the college coaches, and the national team scouts that are here are looking for is how quickly can they solve those problems? How quickly can they adapt?
Right now it's LA Galaxy San Diego who adapted the quickest. Lily O'Grady had a goal in the second minute to put them on top here. And now it's just been a little bit of a chess match, trying to see who can get a better opportunity on goal. It's Tophat, who's had the majority of looks on frame. Nothing that's really challenged Tavares so far. But LA Galaxy San Diego has the majority of the possession.
And the big thing for LA Galaxy San Diego is that they're making the right decisions. Smart passes, simple. We'll try and force something every once in a while when they think it's on, but it's not one of those things where you're looking at a team that just seems like they're trying to force their way through a brick wall.
Before the game, we were walking up and I heard the San Diego girls say, "You can't just put San Diego girls in this kind of weather."
I think it's,
but they've adapted really well.
One of the funniest things I've heard.
You know, you're thinking about packing for this weekend, and it's like goes from 84 degrees to 32. You need 2 whole suitcases to figure that one out.
What I want to know is how the San Diego players will adapt to seeing snow.
Yeah.
Because that's really interesting.
Right.
These Georgia players have probably seen it before.
Right.
One of the things they preach is that professional mindset, and you know that these Galaxy San Diego players definitely have that, and they won't let it throw them off their game.
Good try there by De La Peruta. Looking for a jumbo over on the far side, and those two have missed a couple times, but not by much. You're starting to think that it's gonna connect at some point. De La Peruta connects to the far side, makes her way back up. Jumbo, good ball into the box, headed straight up in the air and cleared away by Knutson.
Sandra's doing a great job to get back